In July 2025, the world's eyes are on Washington, D.C., as President Donald Trump hosts Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for a critical meeting. The stakes? A potential ceasefire in the devastating 21-month Gaza war, the release of Israeli hostages, and a chance to reshape the Middle East. Let's dive into what happened, why it matters, and what's at play.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is in Washington to meet with President Donald Trump. The visit comes as Israel and Hamas are discussing terms for a new ceasefire for Gaza, what would pause the fighting, free some Israeli hostages, and send much-needed aid into the territory. President Trump doesn't hide the fact that he wants to be seen as a peacemaker, and he's been pushing Israel and Hamas to end the 21-month-long war.
This meeting is Netanyahu's third White House visit since Trump's return to office in January 2025. Trump's pushing hard for a deal, capitalizing on recent U.S.-Israel military successes, like strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. But why now? Let's hear from a former U.S. ambassador.
Well, this moment is actually a moment of real strategic possibility for the United States and Israel to capitalize on the military successes of the war over the last several months. Hamas has been badly damaged in Gaza. Hezbollah has been defeated in Lebanon. And of course, the Iranian nuclear facilities were struck just a few weeks ago. But to do that requires diplomacy and really requires getting to an end of the war in Gaza.
Former Ambassador Daniel Shapiro highlights the opportunity. Hamas is weakened, and Iran, its key backer, is reeling from U.S.-backed strikes. This gives Trump leverage to push for a ceasefire, but the talks aren't easy. Here's what's holding them up.
Well, both Donald Trump and Netanyahu will want something to show from this meeting later today, but the question really is how much of a breakthrough or not will happen in these official talks as well. At the moment, Israel has said that it is willing to agree to a ceasefire on the proposal it has agreed to, so potentially suggesting they're not that happy to budge that much at the moment. Hamas, though, has requested a couple of key changes. In particular, Hamas want the resumption of aid from the UN to be allowed into Gaza. They want a withdrawal of Israeli troops.
The sticking point? Hamas demands a permanent end to the war, while Netanyahu wants a temporary 60-day ceasefire, keeping the option to resume fighting. With 50 hostages still in Gaza and over 57,000 Palestinian deaths reported, the pressure is on. Trump's team, including envoy Steve Witkoff, is pushing for a deal before the ceasefire's first phase ends in March. Will Trump and Netanyahu bridge the gap? This meeting could be a turning point or another missed opportunity. Stay tuned for updates on this critical moment. Subscribe for more.